The night was supposed to be ours. After weeks of planning, we had finally decided to host a party at our place. A celebration of our marriage, our friends, and the life we had been building together. I wanted it to be special, a memory we could both cherish. The house was filled with laughter, music, and the hum of conversation. But deep inside, I had a nagging feeling, one I couldn't quite place. I noticed how my wife's eyes lit up the moment her ex walked through the door. I brushed it off at first, thinking I was being paranoid. After all, she had chosen me, hadn't she? As the night went on, I noticed the way she gravitated toward him, her laughter louder, her smile wider when he was around. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm. I didn't want to be the insecure husband, the one who spoiled the evening with jealousy. I kept telling myself it was nothing, just old history resurfacing briefly. But then the music changed and everything I had been ignoring stood right in front of me, impossible to look away from. The DJ put on a slow, sultry track and without hesitation, my wife grabbed her ex's hand and pulled him to the dance floor. My heart stopped. Their bodies moved close, far too close for what should have been an innocent dance. Her hands lingered on his shoulders, his grip on her waist too intimate. I stood there frozen, watching as the woman I had married put on a show for the entire room. Whispers rippled through the crowd, and suddenly, it wasn't just me who noticed. I tried to keep my composure, but anger boiled inside me. Guests exchanged uneasy glances, pretending not to notice while secretly drinking in the drama. My wife's eyes locked with mine across the room. And for a moment, I thought she would stop. But instead, she smiled, and pressed herself closer against him. It wasn't just betrayal. It was humiliation, and she was doing it openly, daring me to react. When the song ended, she sauntered over to me as though nothing had happened. I held back my rage, my voice calm but firm. What was that, I asked? Her eyes sparkled with arrogance and she shrugged as if it meant nothing. It's just a dance, she said. You're being dramatic. I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to breathe. That wasn't just a dance, and you know it. Her reply came sharp, cold, and final. I don't owe you loyalty. Those 5 words cut deeper than any betrayal could. I don't owe you loyalty. The air in the room grew heavier, and even the guests around us went silent, sensing the gravity of what had just been said. She didn't flinch. She didn't apologize. She didn't even try to explain. Instead, she looked at me like I was the fool for expecting faithfulness, for daring to believe that marriage was built on loyalty. I felt the walls closing in around me. In that instant, every sacrifice I had made for her, every late night at work, every compromise, every dream I had put on hold flashed before my eyes. And here she was, dismissing it all with a single sentence. I realized then that I had been blind, clinging to a love that only I valued. I had been her safety net, not her partner. I didn't shout. I didn't argue. Instead, I stood tall, looked her in the eye, and said the only words that mattered. Then we're done. Her confident smirk faltered. Gasps echoed around the room, but I didn't wait for her reaction. I turned and walked out of the party, leaving her standing there with the weight of her own choices. My silence was louder than any fight could have been. Later that night, as I packed my bags, the reality of what had happened sank in. My phone buzzed with messages from friends who had been at the party. Some expressed support, others shock, but all agreed on one thing. What she did was public betrayal. She didn't even try to come home that night. Perhaps she thought I'd calm down, that I'd forgive her like before. But this time was different. This time, I had seen the truth clearly. Days later, she showed up at my door, her confident demeanor gone. She begged, cried, tried to explain, but I was done listening. You said it yourself. I reminded her, you don't owe me loyalty, and now I don't owe you this marriage. I shut the door on her tears, feeling a strange mix of grief and freedom. Walking away was painful, but it was also the most powerful thing I had ever done. For once, I chose myself over her disrespect.